Hello and welcome back to Reality Check. This channel cares for hearts and minds, and every week we have conversations on mental health in the areas of family, marriage, parenting, and the workplace. And if those are areas of concern to you, an area that maybe you want to grow in, you are in the right place. So karibu sana. To our old subscribers, welcome. To those of you that are still on the fence, considering whether you should subscribe, I would say take a moment, think about it, maybe watch our previous episodes, and then subscribe. And of course, share this content with your friends and family. Today is no different. I'm joined by Dr. Eva Satwine, who is the founder at International Center for Mental Health and Family Care. She's also a marriage therapist, a life coach, and she is also a relationship therapist and a parenting coach. Very, very, very helpful. I can tell you her schedule has been she is quite busy, but she always has room for more. So take advantage of the numbers on your screen and reach out to her if you need help in any of those areas. Welcome to the show. Today we are going to be giving advice to women in this 21st century, in this modern era, and we are going to be giving advice to women who earn more than their partners. So typically in a household or in a home, the expectation is that the breadwinner is the husband, yeah, or the man, the male in the relationship. There's this unsaid expectation that he earns more to be able to provide for his family. But there are instances where you find women earning more than their partners. Sometimes it's the exception to the rule, but I feel like it's happening a lot more in our society. And we thought, let's talk about it, because it seems to cause challenges and tension in a marriage and in a relationship because the dynamic has shifted. And so we thought, let's have a discussion in that regard. So welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
You look lovely.
You look amazing.
Thank you. So this conversation, Dr. Evas, women earning more than their partners, is there anything wrong with it? You know, and I mean, after all, this is family income. The money is coming to the family. So is there anything wrong with a wife or a woman earning more than her partner?
Yes. Okay. Of course, that's a yes or no.
Yes or no question. Yes.
But I'll give some
context.
So there's nothing wrong with earning more.
Yeah.
When we are earning.
True.
And just reminds me of the statement one of our of our guests mentioned. Yes. You remember when he said, "There's that place where no one can reach a woman's money."
A woman's money.
Yes. So there's nothing wrong with that. Money is money. It's independent. But of course, it's a big issue, as you have said. So let me give it context now. Where does this come from? So this has its roots in the way relationships happened years back. I've said it on this show that I can't stop envying our parents and our grandparents because they had more structured relationship dynamics, and the role definitions were very clear. The contributions of each person were pretty clear.
Yes.
And so the man, during the times of our parents, and probably you also don't know this, you're a totally different generation, but I think I witnessed a bit of it when, for instance, our dads, not my dad, but I saw dads and men in families were moving distances to earn the bread, you know, and to bring income. So the economics of the family were on the man. And if I may say, I know that this goes beyond borders, but when we were growing up, for instance, we had men who were going to Uganda to work.
True.
You know, to work because it was purely their responsibility. They didn't need to be reminded. It was their role to earn and provide for the family.
Yeah.
For the women, it was natural that it was clear that they were providing care and nurturing of children, very, very clear. And so it started then before the Industrial Revolution. So when the Industrial Revolution came in, women invaded the workplace.
Your choice of words, they invaded.
They invaded the workplace.
Yes.
You see, so things changed. And we are talking about this so people don't get stuck. Now, please, I'm talking as a therapist, but as a psychologist as well, because every time things change and we don't change, then we are setting ourselves up for disaster.
Yeah.
So things changed. Women went to the workplace. They went to factories and industries and started working. So that's where it started from, right? And so it felt unusual for men then to see women take their jobs but also earn money.
Yes.
And since then, it can only get worse, right? Now, worse, because you asked, is there any problem? So any person who views it as a problem, then it can only get worse because things have changed.
That's true.
Have changed. And once again, when things change and we don't change, we are setting ourselves up for disaster.
True.
And so now, from that time, of course, mindset is everything. So when people have set their minds on the fact that it's a man to work and bring in the money, and then the woman is supposed to care, then that's
the mindset.
That's a mindset.
Yes.
Now, I wanted also to say that some of these roles, by the way, and I think I've mentioned it here, that some of these roles are rooted in the way God created us. For instance, women care. I've said it here, the contribution of women in families, care and nurturing, because we are fitted with gifts, special, unique gifts to deal with detail.
Yes.
And nurturing is in the detail.
That's true.
And so for women to be expected to do this, that's part of it. Now, I should mention to you that when women again went into the workplace, I'm avoiding invading again, but when women started working, it didn't take away their other responsibility of caring. So that's why, for instance, women feel overwhelmed,
yes,
overworked, and burdened and fatigued, because we are now combining production with reproduction.
That's true.
And nurturing. And so that's a lot of work. But you know, I have also said the whole of the month of March, I was speaking to women in the workplace and telling them that while that is happening, we are gifted with a special element of multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah, because the way our brains are wired, we can deal with this, deal with that with so much ease compared to our male counterparts. Yeah. And so it is, so it's coming from there. So let me not digress. I was saying that women then got into production and reproduction roles, and because of that, and we got into education. And when you're educated, you're going to contribute to society. Absolutely. And you're going to earn. You see, you're going to earn from the contribution you're making. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I'm answering your question with so many words. Is there anything wrong? Absolutely not. But again, men, and I think we're going to get into this, because of that background, men have gotten, most of them are still carrying the script of I should be me, because you see practices and mindsets cross from one generation to another. So the way men have been nurtured to believe that, which is okay, I mean provide, but you see where you are now, you can't control who wins the bread. You see,
yes.
you can't control that, and you have to be very careful about things we have no control over. And so it requires different relationship dynamics. So if you're not winning the bread, but this is relational money, this is family money, which we are going to get into, then how do you position yourself to still maintain the leadership and be there? And then it doesn't matter who wins the bread. The bread has to be eaten by the family.
Yes.
You see that? And so that change has redefined the relationship dynamics, right?
Yes.
But there is absolutely nothing wrong with a woman earning.
And I'm glad you've answered it that way, giving us context into where all of this started from and how things used to be versus how they are now. Now, usually when you deviate from the way things used to be, sometimes it can be problematic. Now, overall, there is nothing wrong with a woman earning more than her partner. And yet we are seeing challenges in this dynamic. So can you explain why this dynamic can be problematic in relationships?
Oh, yes, so the answer, I'm sure so many things I would say, but the answer is that people get stuck in a world that no longer exists. You see, mindset is everything.
True.
So this controls what we do.
That's true.
And so you've heard statements, and I'm sure we're going to get a sentence, you know, this is my money, and this is a man's money, and money is supposed to be the provider. 100%, but you see, don't live in denial. You see, things have changed. So why is it a problem? People are stuck with scripts that no longer have a place in this world, right? In the current times. And I think I've been on record. I've said it. Now, you have to be very careful. Some of these things, education doesn't take them away from us.
That's true. That's true.
You see, education. When education doesn't transform the way you think, you're still going to be the same local person, same thinking patterns, same, you know, and it doesn't change you, and it does. So if you're flexible and able to adjust to the changing times, then you're educated.
Yes.
But maybe you're schooled. I don't know which one to use.
You're applying your education.
You're applying your education. So if education doesn't change you, you're still going to think the same. That's why in my practice, for instance, I still get men who are saying, me, I'm a local man. What do they say? Traditional man.
Yes.
Traditional man. And that comes up all the time.
Because it has perks, it has benefits.
It has benefits. It services your selfish centeredness and all that.
Absolutely.
When you check, that's where it goes. And you see, I've explained again as a psychologist that we are all born self-centered, selfish, and if we don't adjust to the realities of life, we are just going to keep that person, that self-centered person, that unchanging person, that is going to hold on to things that service our self-centeredness. So that's where it comes from, and that's where it becomes a problem. Now, I will tell you what, Rachel, that both men and women are confused the same way.
That's true.
So men consider provision as power. A source of power, right? Which is, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
But if your only source of power is in your ability to earn and provide, then it becomes a problem, right? It's okay for us because you see, as a wellness person, I tell you, every time we feel we are in charge of situations, it makes us feel good. It gives us that feel-good element. Important. But the point I'm making here is that that should not be your only source of power and meaning and relevance and purpose.
Because if it's taken away,
that's a moving part. You see? Now, we again, as a life coach, I tell people, please don't hold on to moving parts, they're going to move. They're going to move. So we no longer, for instance, we no longer have those neat compartments where this one does this one does that to feel relevant. No, now wires have touched each other, they've crossed, and so we have to move with that and then reposition yourself and still be relevant and still be powerful, and that's, you know, that helps us. So when we don't make adjustment, that's why there is a problem. So that's why men are saying, okay, I'm not providing, I'm not the provider, I'm not earning, then I'm useless. Because that defines your your usefulness. Women on the other side are also playing drama.
Tell us.
So we are earning, but we are still living in those times where we are saying it's a man to provide.
Oh.
So on many occasions, women are stuck with their money. And whenever I'm asking, whenever I have an opportunity to speak into people's lives and they're dealing with this monster, I ask, okay, you know, it's my husband supposed to provide. You know, they are supposed to provide, but they're not able to provide.
Yes.
That's number one. But number two, so what's the use of your money? The money you earn. So some women are actually stuck with their money. Stuck. Why are they stuck? Because of the old beliefs. So they are also running with a script that no longer has relevance in these changing times. And it's a problem. So that's why, for instance, I've been saying on this show that if couples' money is not married, right? If your money is not servicing the partnership, then we have so much drama. We have so many problems where money then becomes a problem. So either people are hiding it or they are using it the wrong way. I've shared here experiences, and I'm sure viewers can relate with some, where, for instance, women have taken to investing in secret projects. Some have invested in housing projects and made their husbands secretly their tenants.
I've heard that before.
You've heard that. And this is happening a lot, but you know, there are so many secret projects because women believe a man is supposed to earn. So there is still confusion, and I'm hoping that from this conversation, people can begin to relax about money. Please be careful if your life is pinned to moving parts. You see, because this relationship is supposed to be, to cushion your life and help to define how you move together. But now if you're hiding this, hiding that, and I have said this, let me say it again, Rachel, our happiness in marriage is dependent on how all the different aspects of our lives are married. Wow. So if there are single aspects,
then you're going to have challenges.
You're going to have challenges. That's why we have very lousy marriages. People so unhappy, lonely, confused, they don't feel together. You're married, you can celebrate 25 years and silver jubilee and I don't know which other jubilee. But you see, if your hearts are not together on a number of things,
then you're wasting
forget
time.
it. And money being the biggest. Because money is a big thing in marriage now in our times. Right? So if your money is your money and my money is my money, so where is the project called marriage? Where is family?
Where's family?
Where's family? And so you'll find that people have been married for a long time, and because they don't work together on their money issues, then they don't even progress economically because their hearts are not together. You know, scripture tells us in I think Psalms 133 how good, how pleasant it is when brethren move together in unity. And it goes on to say, in unity, I think it's verse 3, the Lord has commanded a blessing.
Wow.
You see, so when there is no unity in money, financials, in plan, you can't even plan together.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So you'll find people have been married, maybe they buy some things. I've shared about a couple I encountered years back, about 3 years back. Each one of them is driving these big, huge cars.
Yes.
But the children have no school fees.
I mean,
They are chased from school.
what is that?
Basic things.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. And it's because of the mindset we attach to money. So it's not so much the money. Money has no problem, but the mindset we attach to money.
Money is innocent.
It's innocent.
Money is
It's actually a tool to service
It really
your relationship.
is. It really is.
Yeah, but we make it the thing.
Have you? Okay, so I want us to talk about, like, we imagine a couple, a man maybe is earning, let's say, for argument's sake, 700,000 shillings, and his wife earns, say, 3 million shillings. You've probably heard what women, how women then behave in the home because of, she seemingly has power, because men see it as power, but even us as women, we might see it as, a power dynamic.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges likely to arise from a scenario like that, where, based on what you have explained, the man is the head of the home, the wife also has her roles, but now she seemingly has more power over him because she's earning more? What are some of the challenges that are likely to arise in that kind of scenario?
A leadership structure helps us to have order. Just imagine I woke up today and declared myself president of this country.
Well,
I'm sworn in. So a leadership structure brings order.
That's true.
And a leadership structure is irrespective of things, bits that service, the tools that service it.
Yes.
Now, I'll go back to mindset. So if a wife earns more and they think now because they earn more, they've taken over the leadership of the family. You see, power. Power and authority are different, right? Leadership is authority, and of course power helps you to exercise your authority. But now if you think, if any woman thinks that because they've earned more, then things have changed. Now, if that was the case, we have great businessmen in this country. Then they would be the president of the country. I'm very sure. Can I risk saying this?
You can.
I'm very sure there are some people in this country who earn more than the president of this country.
Yeah.
Does it make them the president?
No, it does not.
You see, we shouldn't confuse things. So because you have earned money, and again, remember I said it is the attitude that you attach to money that is the problem. So if money gets you out of your skin, you can no longer fit in your body because you earn 3 million or 10 million or whatever. What's that? And again, I have, let me say this, Rachel. If we allow certain little bits, these tools, to replace relationship, then we are in trouble.
That's true.
You see, if money becomes more important than a relationship, becomes more important than everything else, becomes more important than the destiny of your children, becomes more important than the future of the family, then you have a problem. I'm just remembering a scripture. Can't put my finger to it, but it talks about wealth and riches in the hands of, and this is scripture. Please forgive my lingo. Money and wealth in the hands of a fool is a curse.
Oh.
Please, these are not my words.
The Bible.
It's the Bible. And the Bible uses fool and wise and all that, but these are not my words. If I could borrow that, if when we earn, we cannot prevail over the things we have earned, then it's going to control us. That's true. So if money is going to control my behavior, then I'm not mature enough. You see, it becomes a curse. So when a woman earns money and it becomes the reason why their marriage fails, It becomes a reason why they have to disrespect their husband.
Yeah.
It becomes a reason why they sleep out, why they stay up late. These are cases we are dealing with every day. Because she's successful, and we use success
in court.
Success.
Yeah.
And then it's a problem, Rachel. So it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It should be, even when you earn, you're submitting to the leadership structure of the family.
Yes.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you really have. You have. And I think it leads me to my next question, because someone watching might be in a scenario like this and they're wondering, okay, what kind of conversations should I be having with my partner to sustain us in this dynamic? Because you might find a wife maybe who is still submissive, still
100%.
Doing her role as a wife, but her husband is so insecure.
I'm glad you bring it up. We are thinking the same.
Yes.
So I was beginning to feel, because I hate to give skewed perspectives.
Yes.
I hate to just give one-sided things. And I want to tell you, there are so many women earning, willing, glad to be wonderful wives, but now the man is insecure. He's carrying the other script, which I mentioned.
Yep.
Because I'm not the one earning, then I'm not man enough. That's again, you see, attitude.
Yes.
So if and it's a huge problem. I've met so many women who are frustrated. They are earning, they are in positions. That's why I always ask men, and I really want to challenge men again. Have you adjusted your mind and brought yourself up to speed on what is happening? And you can still position yourself to live with a successful woman. If you allow me to use success, I hate to use successful because it's abused. But are you ready to sleep with a CEO and still dream dreams without getting house insurance? How about if your wife is a minister? How about if your wife is a CFO? How about if your wife is successful in career? Is that the reason for you to be insecure, be abusive? Some men have become abusive. They run away from families because they say, man, that, you see, that's an attitude. So we have two extremes. We have women who also can fit in their skins, as I've said, but we also have men who are horribly deflated.
No matter
what you do. You see? And so it's not purely on the part of women. It's also a problem with men who still believe. Now, once again, if any man sets themselves up to that thinking, there's going to be a big frustration in the family. It can be so frustrating because then the woman gets to a point where they're saying, what can I do?
What do I do?
What do I do? They buy this. If they bring the money, it's a problem. And some men can actually put up a horrible reaction where they decide to be, reckless or behave a certain way because they say this woman is too much for me. And so it's very important for men to calm down and know, number one, that their leadership is positional. It is positional. And so they need to occupy it and be confident. Self-confidence is self-initiated.
That's true.
You see, there are certain things, even if you wanted to encourage your partner, there are certain things they have to do on their own. So there are certain things your wife may not be able to do to encourage you to do. You have to rise up to the occasion and claim your self-esteem and know that it is okay. It's okay if your wife is earning. It is okay to accept them. And encourage them. I have benefited from a husband who is my cheerleader, and it is amazing. So you go like, yes, you can achieve that. Go after this, go after that. You're good. So being a woman doesn't mean we cannot occupy big spaces.
And contribute to the family.
To the family.
I want us to get a bit practical even as we begin to wrap up the show. Let's say there's a couple, they are intending to be married, and already the woman earns more than her partner. What are some things especially conversations, because I think it's important to have conversations. As we were preparing for this show, I read an article of a couple. The woman earns more, and she went through a list of conversations that they have, whether it's regarding debt management or, who buys groceries, how do we split the money. And I know every couple has a different dynamic. You'll find couples where the woman brings all the money and presents it to her husband and says, how do we work with this money, kind of thing. I see you smiling. So are there any practical, maybe general tools or ideas that we can present to couples who are maybe walking in this dynamic or heading into this dynamic that can help them, maybe a conversation that they should be having or a way to go about doing this so that everybody kind of feels taken care of, in a sense, to move in one direction? Because I think the goal is oneness, and I like what you've said, that the issue is not money, it's our attitude.
It's our attitude we attach to it.
Yeah. Does my question make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, it does. And I'll tell you what, key thing is to have conversation about money.
Absolutely.
And whenever I'm preparing couples for marriage, I encourage them to have conversation on very important aspects.
That's true.
Very important aspects, aspects around faithfulness, aspects, like these are things to have conversations about. And money is one of the big ones. And I do remember, can I share my experience?
Please.
Because sometimes we speak theory and people don't even connect. But I remember when we were going to get married, the priest who prepared us sold her idea to us, and which was helpful. So she said, regarding money, I advise you to open up a joint account and open up a joint account because that brings peace, and then you can work together. We didn't do that.
You didn't?
And I remember actually my husband said to her, probably that's not how we're going to do it. And he had good reasons.
Okay.
Number one, he knew that I'm very good at spending.
Oh, okay.
And he foresaw potential disaster with that. But also he gave good reasons. He said, I'm a spender, I'm a giver.
Yes.
I'm not a reckless spender, but I'm a giver. And he said he didn't want to get in a place. He's a giver as well. He's a more organized giver. I'm a giver in my own way. But he saw that he was going to stand in my way of giving.
Wow.
Yeah, because I give out of conviction.
That's true.
Don't be fooled. Sometimes I give out
Sometimes
of
there's no
confusion.
conviction.
But I'm a giver. And he thought, if I have to ask for permission to, to withdraw money, sign. And he said, you know what? I think I don't want to stand in her way. He was also protecting his mental health. But a tool like joint accounts, I've had couples where it works.
It has worked so well. Yeah.
Remember, life is about tools for management. And so that's an amazing tool where people agree. We have friends. I won't mention names here, but we have friends, our very close friends, who do joint account, and they are disciplined and they are wonderful. Now remember, when you manage together, it builds cohesion. It also builds teamwork, and it builds intimacy. You see? So that's a very good tool. For us, what we did was a hybrid.
Okay.
So we opened up what we call a development account.
Okay.
And we maintained our individual accounts, but we all contributed
to that account.
And so every project we have to do, we contribute. So when you earn, you contribute a bit. But then we leave some money on our accounts where I buy things which I hadn't planned for. if I meet someone selling a dress on the street, I buy it. I can buy it.
Yes.
You know, that kind of freedom to also do what I can do. But then that helped us a great deal. So that development account helped us to build teamwork, to build intimacy, to, you know, so we all contribute. And then we are also open. You know, I've earned this, now I'm putting this, now I'm putting that. And so it became a point of responsibility. And because of that, we have what to work with. So if we are investing in anything, this is how our development account. And it helps us to have conversation and, you know, planning together and all that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That also could work.
Yeah.
Right? Very important. But key thing is people having conversations around how are we going to manage money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How are we going to manage money? You mentioned something about a woman
presenting
their salary.
Yes.
Why I laughed is that I know of a couple where the woman doesn't even pick 1 shilling from the money they've earned. If they do that, the husband is either going to reject the submission. What are they? Returns.
Are you serious?
And it was a point of violence. So if she picked something and bought vegetables along the way, she gets chiboko because the man is the authority. And these are educated people, don't be fooled.
That's how you exercise authority.
Our authority. So again, you see, when someone has a bad attitude and bad brains towards this, then it becomes a problem. It becomes
problematic. And yet, Dr. Evers, I know people who do that out of conviction.
Yeah.
And it works for them.
You see?
Yeah. And I think what I hear you saying is have conversations, try different things. Eventually, you'll find something that works for you.
100%, because there are different characters involved in different marriages. So that's why we don't impose this or the other. That's why I'm careful to say, please have conversation. Check what works for you.
That's true.
And if a wife takes money to the husband out of conviction, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what works for them. Yeah. The most important thing is harmony.
That's true.
Harmony. If your money is a source of conflict, then it becomes a curse.
Say that again?
Yes. If the money is a source of conflict, loss of peace, lack of direction, excitement that is out of this world, then you have challenges. Then it becomes a curse. And that's where we say people have challenges managing success. So something that was supposed to be a blessing is actually a curse.
All right, Dr. Evers, I would like for you to give just one piece of advice, something that you'd want our audience to go away with from this conversation. This show was specifically addressed to women because we wanted to give advice to them. But then I quickly realized, wait a minute, the women might be doing the right thing, but the men are. So I want you to give just one piece of advice to both the men and the women that you'd want for them to take away from this conversation.
That's right. Number one, both men and women, not to allow money to replace their relationship.
Yes.
When money becomes the relationship, then there is a problem. So don't allow money to be your master and it becomes the relationship. Allow money to serve you. Don't serve money. And that speaks to the attitude I mentioned. If you make money bigger than the relationship, that relationship comes. That's a recipe for disaster. Number two, for women, it is okay to earn more. To earn more than your husband, and you're still a good wife.
You can achieve both.
You can achieve both. You see, money doesn't make you a leader of a family. You see, when money makes you take over the family structure. And I'm talking to women and women who are married.
Yes.
But also those who intend to get married. But also, you know, money, money can really change your brain setting if you allow it. Anything can.
Yeah.
But money can alter your thinking. But it shouldn't. When you're calm, collected, content, then it shouldn't be a problem. So it is okay for a woman, married, a mother, a wife, to still earn and have the humility and the character of a good wife and still function in the structure of a family.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To the men, it is okay for your wife to earn more.
Yeah.
These are things you can't control.
That's true.
Because earning money is an art of the brain and an opportunity, you see, and a gift from God. And so these are things you have no control over. If you set yourself up to controlling those, then you're fighting a lost or losing battle wherever it is. So don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't fight your wife because she's earning more. She's your partner. You see, support her because these resources are coming to the family. And that brings me to another advice for men. That doesn't take away your leadership position. And leadership position, men are complaining that women are taking over their leadership position. But you see, when you don't occupy your position,
then there's a vacuum.
it doesn't keep, there's a vacancy there. It's vacant. And so someone is going to take it because leadership is something that has to happen.
That's true.
And so when you run away because you're threatened by your wife, then it is going to be problematic. And that's how women get into some spaces and they have to make decisions and all because you have run away out of your own negative convictions.
Yes.
Yeah, where you feel you're not man enough and this has, and please check, sometimes your wife has nothing to do with how you feel.
Yeah.
They are probably doing the best job they can do. They are being the best they can be as wives and mothers and workers. But you make your own internal working model that threatens everything, and you run away from it. Keep in your family. Occupy that leadership position. Steer your family in the right direction, even when the bread is being brought by your wife. And I want to assure men that once a wife feels the cover of a husband, they function better. When they know that you are in the leadership seat, they function better and they feel protected and they are going to be more productive. But when they feel you've run away, you're threatened, then the whole family gets disoriented.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So much to learn, but I think for me the biggest takeaway is don't allow money to replace
the relationship. Yes.
Yeah. Money is a tool, and like we've said, it's here today, tomorrow
it moves.
It moves. You know, so if money, that means your relationship has moved. So now you're going to struggle if the money is gone. So
Rachel, one more thing to women, because women have actually also given in to this lie that then money gives them independence.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I had forgotten it.
And that's not true.
And that's not true. Please be careful about some of these lies. And I've always asked women, please challenge some of these thoughts. Challenge those perspectives. And I ask always, so it gives you independence from who and from what? And when you challenge that, when you think deep around it, then you realize it's a lie. So independence to do what? You see? And I know why I'm saying this, because I've seen some people thrown into that confusion. Later on in life, they are stranded. You see? Because life doesn't stop here. The bigger chunk of our lives is in the future. And so you find someone who was thrown off balance because of money, and later on They have no relationship, they are lonely, they are confused, they are trying to find meaning. Later on in life, now they are looking for companionship when actually they discarded their relationships at a point they were supposed to nurture them. So I'm just hoping, again, this is not stone throwing, but this is information that should help us know that relationships are more important than anything else that we can imagine. I've said it here, they are important now, they are more important in the future.
That's true, and wonderful way to end this show. Thank you so much, Dr. Yves, for sharing with us those insights on couples and how you can navigate this dynamic where a woman earns more than her man. And I think bottom line is there's nothing wrong with it. I think our issue is really our attitude towards money and how we allow money to control us. So thank you once again for joining us on this conversation. Let us know what has stood out for you. If there's any lesson that you have picked from this episode, we'll be back next week with another conversation. In the meantime, remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. Leave us a comment, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when we drop an episode. Stay well, stay healthy, and keep it reality check. Bye-bye.